Hey, there we are. What's up, everybody? This week, during your off days, your skill days, we're going to be talking about the application of Olympic lifting protocols into the hammer. So for my CrossFit folks, this should be a little bit more exciting for you. If you've never done Olympic lifts before, don't worry about it. We're going to kind of walk you through the process and take this step by step. Before we get into that, we're going to make an application to the swing. We're going to change things up a little bit. I want to teach you guys the clap swing. And a clap swing is a regular one-handed swing with the hammer, BAMF Hammer swing, where you're going to release the handle and grab it by the head in both hands. Okay? This is a great chest exercise. It's a great stability exercise. It's also going to start teaching you how to manipulate the hammer in space, which is really, really useful. So a couple of demos here. Okay. Make sure you're nice and warmed up, get the hammer swinging, and all I'm going to do in the beginning is catch and pull to my body, all right? Then I'm going to push off, grab with the other hand, catch, pull to my body, catch, pull to my body, all right? As you get better with this, what we're going to start doing is walking this catch out until, ideally, we're catching with straight arms. That is not where you're going to be today, but I just want you getting comfortable catching and pulling this to your body. The other advantage this is going to have is it's a drill where the hammer is coming towards you, and it's going to kind of instill in you the ability or the practice of being calm while there's a giant hammer flying at your face. Okay, so that's the easy part. We're going to do 2 Olympic applications today. We're going to do some push jerks, so this is a completion of the pressing series, and then we're going to talk about squat cleans with the hammer. The push jerk is probably going to be easiest on you because we've already done some of this throughout the process. What we're doing to the push press that we've already done is we're adding a re-dip underneath the press, increasing a little bit of speed here. So what I'm thinking about is I've pulled the hammer up, right? Bracing with my offhand, all I'm going to do is dip, drive, and then as I'm pressing up, I'm going to re-dip my body underneath this hammer, and essentially I'm just going to get my arms straight faster. So it's dip, drive, re-dip, right? And if we need to catch on top, we absolutely can. Dip, drive, apply that other hand. Notice I'm nice and tall, my abs are on, just a little bit bent, then I stand to completion. Bring the hammer back down. We can also do this without the offhand. All right. The nice thing about this push jerk is it's really going to force a lot of stability through your shoulder, which we really need to cultivate. Using a barbell, we know that as you're up here, your hands are not going to slide farther apart on the barbell because you're keeping a nice tight grip on a single object. The hammer doesn't allow you to do that. So what it's going to do is cultivate a larger requirement of stability through the shoulder. You're really going to have to think about keeping your abs braced, keeping your bicep tight to your ear. Notice I did that with my arm, not my head. That's not what we're looking for. I'm trying to go, keep that arm straight up, because as I'm centered here, my arm and the load on top of my arm are over my midline, and it's going to be easier to control. So play around with that, all right? Lastly, we're going to deal with the squat clean. Now, this is a very complicated movement. What we're essentially doing, and the good news is you've probably been doing a bit of this up until this point, and it's a matter of dropping down under the hammer, picking it up, and getting it into a single-handed front support. We're just going to turn this into an application of movement. And what I'm thinking about doing is violently exploding out of the floor, okay, squeezing through the glutes, transferring that momentum generated by my legs into the hammer by virtue of a pull with my elbow. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate that elbow underneath. The hammer's going to go through 180 range of rotation. Boom. I'm going to suck my elbow in nice and tight to my side, and I'm going to be in that single-handed front support. So here's where we're going to start. I'm going to tilt the hammer, okay, at about a 45-degree angle from the floor. Then I'm going to go down and I'm going to get my grip. From here, I'm going to sit down until my quads are almost parallel to the ground. I'm going to violently jump and make that pull with the elbow. So here's the first step. Boom, we can put it right back down. So that's where you're gonna start. Take a minute or two, 1 minute of explosive pulls on the right, 1 minute of explosive pulls on the left. It's actually a really useful movement, and we can apply it later in the programming. From there, once you feel really comfortable with this high pull, what we're going to do is high pull, and while the momentum of the hammer is still going up, I'm going to re-dip into another squat and rotate my elbow underneath it. So I want you to think about the hammer is going to rotate in space. You're just never going to let go with the hand that's in control. So I'm sitting in, hammer's 45, nice and braced, tall spine, okay, tight abs, ready to apply some load here, looking straight forward. What I'm going to do is explode, rotate underneath, and now I'm down in the squat, all right? In the beginning, catching that rotation is probably going to be fairly difficult, and I want to recommend sticking your offhand straight out from your body and letting it be a stopper for the handle of the hammer. I want to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, down, nice and braced. This hand's going to go straight forward. There it is, okay? Just using that other hand to stop the rotation, then I can take it off while I'm stable and stand up in that position, okay? So that's what you've got today. You've got 3 different movements. Set yourself time on the clock. Remember, we're going for quality reps. We're not going for a lot of reps. I would say probably 2-minute working sets to 3-minute working sets are going to be optimal. I would start with the clap swings. Again, this is after you've warmed up. Start with the clap swings, then move on to the cleans, and finally finish with the presses. If you want to get really spicy towards the end of the workout, once you're into your 4th or 5th round, go ahead and go squat clean into the press. Squat clean directly into the press, or squat clean into that push jerk that we've already done, okay? Start thinking linearly about how we can link these movements together. Because when we start flowing through movements next week, that's really all we're going to be doing, is connecting some natural lines of movement that we're able to utilize with the hammer and creating stuff that's a little bit more fun. And that's the general idea, that you like it. If you don't like training with the hammer, then training with something else is perfectly fine. The important thing is that you like the way that you train, because it's something you should do. But if you hate every second of it, it's certainly something you're not going to do. So yeah, that's what I got for you today. Look for today's video, tomorrow's video. We're going to be doing some more applied rotation in terms of getting the hammer moving around the body and then doing lower body explosiveness. Yeah, and check out the video that's going to be coming out. Just keep an eye out. We're doing a resolution thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. So